Chief Justice David Maraga is telling President William Ruto, you have to end abductions in Kenya right now. Maraga, through a strong message he shared on his X platform, is saying that young people are being abducted in this country and that young people cannot pursue their dreams in an environment where their safety and security is not guaranteed. So here is Maraga's long message to President William Ruto. At the beginning of the year, I made a call for us to protect the sanctity and dignity of every Kenyan life. It has come to us that 2 persons known to have been abducted at Mlolongo have been found dead. We condole with the families of Martin Mwau and Justus Musimi and stand with the families of those still missing. May God greatly comfort you and give you courage to push towards justice. I reiterate my deep condemnation of the continued violence against young Kenyans in the form of the abhorrent acts of killing, maiming, and abduction. These continued crimes are a stain to our collective conscience as a nation, and we are all duty-bound to say #enough is enough, #end abductions now. We cannot remain silent. These crimes are a profound betrayal of the future of our nation and the sanctity of the Constitution. A leadership that abets a culture of killings and human rights violation jeopardizes its legitimacy. We cannot be lulled into complacency in the face of such assaults to our shared humanity. Every Kenyan, and particularly our youth, deserves to live in safety and security and to pursue their dreams. I stand in unity with all Kenyans of good conscience and call for the immediate release of all young people who are still being held incommunicado. I call for accountability and justice for the victims and their loved ones. Let us work together to build a society that upholds the rule of law, constitutionalism, and integrity. May the Almighty comfort the bereaved and their families. God bless Kenya. So this is the message from former CJ David Maraga to President William Ruto, and it is all about abductions, all about extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances. Remember, in the last 6 months, Kenyans have witnessed these injustices, especially being meted on our Kenyan youth. So, and here Maraga is calling the president and telling them, look here, this cannot continue. You must end it right now. And from this statement, it is clear that Maraga is very angry. We are all very angry. We are all very concerned because this is our country. You cannot abduct people because they are criticizing you. That is not the way to handle issue, or that is not the way to lead. So for President, I hope this will really will take action. Remember, Maraga is telling President William Ruto hours after public service cabinet secretaries Justin Muturi did the same. So this is the current conversation in our country, and I'm seeing people through the comment section really not, and I'm seeing Kenyans in the comment section are really mad and angry at the same time. So let me read some of the comments. Under this post. We have Joseph Ndaru says, Senior, Your Excellency, please vie. Kindly come save our country Kenya before it goes to the dogs. Dear Chief Justice Emeritus, there comes a time when the love of our country is more important than the comfort of our retirement. Kindly, this one is begging Maraga to vie for presidency in the upcoming elections. And then we have Nothing KE says, thank you, Chief Justice Maraga, a leader and legend. Maybe the next president. If CJ can retreat End abductions KE, enough is enough. End abductions is our collective duty. We have the Kenyan vigilante. He says we are being ruled by a president who has hired machineries to kill his own youth. And then we have Majaliwa who says, CJ Maraga, sir, there is something you can do about it. You can actually decide to vie president so that we correct all these wrongs currently happening. Let me read the last two, and then we have Ivan who says, in short, we want you as the sixth. And the last one here is from Freddie who says, we need you, sir. So from the message is that from these comments, it is clear that Kenyans want David Maraga to vie for presidency. Remember, these discussions has been on and off. There are those who have been suggesting or fronting David Maraga to be in the next presidential race. And remember, Maraga has not said anything in regards to elections 2027. He has not shown that interest so far. Whether he's going to do it, we don't know. That is still open. But from the comment sections, it is clear that Kenyans are yearning to have people like David Maraga, people who obey rule of law, people who know what justice means, and people who respect constitutions, because the current regime is clear that a constitution to them is just a book like any other. It's like it is nothing to them, and the rule of law to them is nothing. So people are yearning to see people like David Maraga, who are known to be one of the people who respect justice, constitution, and the rule of law. Will it happen? Time will tell. We still have time. 3 years to elections. We still have time. So it is clear that Maraga is also among those Kenyan who are very tired to hear about abductions in our daily news reports. This must end. We are telling President William Ruto to end these abductions right now, because it is so clear that they are not planning to do anything about it. This is something that has been going on, and it is so bad that some of these cases is people being abducted for criticizing President William Ruto. Why is that happening? We are being our constitution allows us or gives us freedom of speech. So if I'm telling President William Ruto that you are doing this and this and this, why should I be abducted? In fact, that shows that I'm loving my Kenya, I'm loving my country, I love the president, and I want to see him do good. So being abducted for criticizing the president is one of the saddest things that is happening in our country, Kenya. And we must call this out. We must call this out. So for David Maraga, thank you for that message. It is something that young people in this country cannot do anything. They have been denied job opportunities, and they are now being abducted to just expressing themselves. This is saddening. This is heartbreaking. This must end. So for president and this regime, you need to sit down and reflect. We must have a country that can accommodate all of us, those who support you and those who are against your policies. It is normal. Every other leader in this continent is being criticized. Donald Trump is criticized. All the presidents in this world are being criticized. So why should yours being an exception? It is not. Because not all the policies that you are going to implement will sit well with Kenyans. Some will see it as a good policy. Others will see it as a way of not good. So you must learn to accommodate all these views. But abductions is just going too low. It is just too low. So we want to see abductions end right now. Young people have been using social media to call this out, and they have even been forced to send mails to foreign leaders, especially those who want to visit Kenya, telling them that our president is doing 1, 2, 3, so don't visit this country. So young people on social media platforms are doing everything to ensure that their voices is heard, that what they are doing, criticizing, is not a sin. it is, we are being protected by the constitution, and our constitution allows us to do so. So Uhuru was criticized, Moi, Kibaki, all these presidents were criticized, but going low to abduct people were criticizing you, Mr. President, please, that is stooping so low. So this is a very strong message to David Maraga, and we are expecting him. I'm one of those people, of course, who are expecting David Maraga to be in the ballot in the next election. Will he choose that way? We know politics is dirty, and for people like Maraga, you see, it seems like a silent person who is so into religion and all that. So for some people, it might be very difficult for him to cut his piece to come to this cruel world of politics. And we know how our politics is. Our politics are very, we know how our political scene has been since way back, is very cruel, and just is not for kama wewe si mtu kiherere or somebody who is ready to take everything in, it might prove difficult for you to step into that environment. But we hope that the Maraga will consider these messages, because half of the people who commented here under his post are telling him to vie, because they believe that for this to end, we must have somebody like David Maraga in office. Will that happen? Of course, we are leaving it open. As I've said earlier, we still have a time, and we know we'll have many presidential candidates coming up, but I want to hope that Maraga will be one of them. So that is it from me for now. Thanks for watching. This is Sophia Live.